Hello and welcome back. My name is Ron Timmerhin and I'm a professional photographer based in London and Sony Europe Imaging Ambassador. Last week we spoke about getting to grips with Instagram. We went through the different methods of posting, the best practices, how to use hashtags, and today we're going to be talking about Instagram for commercial use. In today's session we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to be talking about business accounts, how they can bring a massive help to you in your photography business. We're also going to be talking about content, creating the best type of content that will resonate with you and your audience, creating content consistently, and also being consistent online. Finally, we're going to be talking about the all-important attracting new brands and clients. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Over the course of the last decade or so, I've been very fortunate to work with some of my favourite brands. This has come primarily through Instagram, so please take note and I hope you enjoy these tips and tricks. Instagram business accounts. There are so many benefits to having a business account on Instagram. First and foremost, it makes your feed look more professional. Users are instantly greeted with your job title, which is displayed underneath your name, a small but subtle detail that makes you look more important. Users are also shown a few more options to get in contact with you when you have a business account, so we're going to go into that now. Adding contact buttons to your feed is a great and efficient way for your followers or for brands or potential clients to get in contact with you. As you can see, if somebody clicks email on your feed, it directs them straight into their email app of choice. So with one click, people can get in contact with you. It's very simple to set up. All you need to do is click Edit Profile, head down to Contact Options, and here you can see you can choose to display either an email or a phone number or your business address, or all three if you like. Having access to analytics is probably one of the biggest benefits to having a business account on Instagram. Having access to analytics on Instagram is an incredibly valuable way to get more insight into who your audience are and how to target them better. It gives you a follower breakdown, so you can look at your growth of your followers. It gives you a follower breakdown, so you can have a look at your growth of followers, your locations, your demographics, and that can be split between cities and countries, your age range, and that can split between men and women, and also your gender split. It also shows your most active posting times, and this is really important when it comes to sharing your content at the right time to get that all-important engagement. It shows your follower breakdown, so your growth of followers. It also shows your demographics, your age range, your gender split, and your most active posting times. As you can see in the locations, you can choose between cities or countries. In the age range, you can choose between men and women or all together. Your gender split stays the same, and then also you can see your most active posting times between hours and days. So as you can see, it gives you a very good snapshot of who your audience are. Some other options you get to see in Insights are your accounts reached. This shows your impressions, your profile visits, your website taps, and your email button taps that you've received over the last 7 days. You also have the option to view your content interactions, and this shows how many likes, comments, saves, and shares that you've had over the last 7 days. Also your story interactions. This is a great way to look at your strategy and see if you can make any changes to improve these figures. You can also see insights on specific posts. So for example, this shot of the painted hall, I'll click View Insights, and here I'm presented with a number of different insights that show how well my post performed. Swipe up links on Instagram stories. Now, just to note, we spoke about this in the last episode, but to have swipe up links on your stories, you need to either have 10,000 followers or more, or be verified on Instagram. The thing is, you also need to have a business account. So even if you have 10,000 followers or you're verified, if you don't have a business account, then you won't have access to this benefit. As you can see, all I need to do is add a link whilst uploading a story. I'll type in rontimmerhin.com. Once I have added that and I'm happy with it, all users need to do is swipe up and they'll be directed straight to the Trope page to buy my book. It's a great incentive to gaining more followers on Instagram or to get yourself verified and having a business account. Instagram advertising. This is Instagram's native advertising tool. It's very powerful for shouting out about a new product or a new service, and it can give you access to people that aren't following you already. Creating an Instagram advert is incredibly simple. All you need to do is click Promote, which sits underneath your piece of content. Select where you want people to go, your profile, your website, or your direct messages. You can define your audience. This can be done automatically, or you can specify it to taste. You can then choose how much budget you want to spend on your post, and you can also play around with the duration, so how long you want that post to be promoted for. It will then give you a total spend. You can review your promotion and then create the promotion and you're done. You can schedule posts using third-party platforms if you have a business account on Instagram. The reason for this is that these third-party platforms pull data from your Instagram account. If you don't have a business account where that data sits, then it's got nothing to pull. The real benefit of having a third-party platform to schedule posts is that you don't have to worry about what you're going to be posting next. All you need to do is set up the caption and the post in advance. So when the time comes, the optimum time to post, then all you need to do is click a button and it's all done for you. It's a massive time saver and a massive stress release. Product tagging in posts. This is a very useful way for business or brands to shout about the products they already have or for new products that they are trying to sell. Douchebags, which is a brand that provides bags for many different purposes, including camera bags, is a great example of how to use this properly. As you can see, all you need to do is tap on a piece of content, out pops a label. Once you click that label, it takes you to the shop that sits natively within Instagram. As you can see, you can have multiple different products that sit within this page, and it's very simple to direct people to your native website. Hopefully that's enticed you to set up a business account. If you want to do so, these are the steps you need to take. There are a couple of things that you need to do before setting up a business account. One, you need to make sure that your profile is set to public. It's very simple to do. All you need to do is go to Settings, select Privacy, and at the top you'll see Account Privacy. Make sure that Private Account is unchecked. The second thing you need to do is to set up a Facebook business page. If you have one already, then no worries, but you will need one before you start this process. To create a Facebook business page is very simple. I suggest doing it in the Facebook website using a desktop. Right, to start setting up a business account on Instagram, you want to start on your personal Instagram profile. From here, you tap the three lines that's located in the top right corner, tap on Accounts, scroll to the bottom and you should see Switch to Business Profile and Switch to Creator Profile. You want to choose Business Profile. The difference between a creator profile and a business profile is very subtle. However, the creator profile is aimed more towards content creators and influencers. A lot of content creators and influencers like myself often choose the business profile anyway. I believe it gives you a little bit more insight into your feed and your account. It will then ask you for your Facebook profile and Facebook business page to connect to. You fill in the relevant details. Just a note, you will need to be an administrator for the Facebook business page to have access to these details. Instagram will then ask you for your business contact details, and remember, write these as you would want your customers to see them. And this includes your business email address, your phone number, and your physical place of business. Content is king. Creating engaging content is arguably the most difficult part of Instagram, but it's also the most important part. This is going to boost your popularity and gain those all-important followers and reach. Create content that is authentic to you and your brand. This is very important. Authenticity is one of the biggest things when it comes to social media now, and so people can see right through content that is deemed as fake or unachievable. Aim to keep a consistent aesthetic to your feed. As we spoke about in the previous session, keeping a consistent aesthetic to your feed means that your work becomes instantly recognizable. In current times, when there is such content saturation on the internet, you want to make sure that your content really stands out and is identifiable. Take your audience on a journey with you by providing insight. This is something I highly recommend. People follow you for insight and for something in return. So for me, as a photographer, I like to provide insight into how to take better photos, how to edit better, different locations to visit. All of this insight proves beneficial to the person following you, and it also entices more people to jump on and follow you as well. A great way to provide insight is by writing engaging captions, which share more knowledge on how the photo was created, or even showing behind the scenes of how you created the photo in Instagram stories. Use your business profile insights and analyze which of your posts your followers engage with the most. Then create more of those. What I mean by this is Instagram insights show you which of your posts get the highest impressions, get the highest reach, and the highest interactions. If you know those type of posts do well, then you can create more of those. This is another reason why having a business profile is very important. Create purposefully for all of Instagram's posting methods. We spoke about the different posting methods again in the last session, but going out with a purpose to create for Instagram in-feed posts or specifically for stories or specifically for IGTV, it will just help you focus your attention and help you create more compelling content that will suit that specific posting method. I often see people that will try and shoot one type of content and repurpose it for all of the different posting methods. But if you really create something special for each of the different posting methods, then you can have a really nice, succinct, short campaign with your content. Collaborate with others who have similar content or a visual aesthetic. This is a fantastic way to gain followers. Collaborations have been happening on Instagram since the start, and I found that when I collaborate with somebody who has a similar style to me, who has a lot of followers, then their followers or their audience are more inclined to follow mine as well. So do some research. Look at people that you admire or that have a large audience that have a similar aesthetic to you, and ask them for a collaboration. Consistency is key. There's no point in posting amazing content once in a blue moon and then disappearing. It's very important that you're consistent with your content and your online interactions. If you are, say, a magazine or a media publication, then you might be posting 5 times a day. But the real key here is you need to get into a rhythm so that your audience know when to expect posts from you. So what works for me is that I like to post at least once every 2 days. I find that my interaction and my engagement stays high if I do so. I personally think it's best to post once every day and post twice a day at the most. But again, this is just for my account. Your account may vary. I find that if I post more than twice a day, my engagement goes down because people start to get tired of my posts or it becomes a bit tedious. Create a backlog of content so that you are never short of something to share. This is incredibly useful for keeping that consistency in your posting. I often go out and in a day of shooting, I might be able to create 3 or 4 posts. I will then post one and save the other 3 and post those over the next 3 or 4 days. In that time, the next day I'll be shooting, I'll create another 3 or 4, and then that way I'm never short of content to share. It is a tough gig, but you need to make sure that you're creating content regularly, otherwise you're not going to be consistent in your posting. Look at a yearly events calendar and create topical posts in advance. So I've got a calendar that I found on the internet, which shows you obviously Christmas, Easter, New Year's Day, etc., etc., and you can start building your posts in advance and start creating content specifically for those days in advance. That way, at least that's some more content for you or your business to share, and once it's done, you don't have to worry about rushing to get it done within time. Use apps such as Later, Planoly, or Preview app to visually plan your feed and schedule posts. These are amazing apps that allow you to visually plan your feed and keep that consistency. So as I said, having a consistent visual aesthetic, which will help people identify with your work, using these apps will just help you visualize that and keep your feed looking clean and professional. Again, like I said, I've got feed OCD, so I can't have two contrasting colors too near each other, or I'm weird like that. So I use these apps to help me visualize it and just keep my sanity in check. Like and genuinely comment on other people's posts daily. This is important as well because that level of interaction is going to boost interaction on your profile as well. If you're not being social on a social media platform, then you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. Things not to do. Right. Don't buy followers or likes ever, period. They don't benefit your business, they don't benefit you. They're ghost followers that actually do more damage to your account than good. Don't spam follow and unfollow. This was a popular technique and tactic that people used to use a few years ago, but I know people still use it now. What that means is that people will spam follow a large amount of people, often 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people, in the hope that some of those people will follow them back. As soon as they get the follow back, they will then unfollow that person. It's a very shady way of operating on Instagram, and Instagram is clamping down on that as well. You don't want to be shadow banned. Like or comment bots. Again, these were popularly used. Instagram again has clamped down on these, so I would avoid doing anything like that at all. Don't post and then disappear. What I mean by this is don't post a piece of content and then not answer your replies for a good hour or two. You want to be engaging with your audience, with your followers as soon as possible, and that will help boost the Instagram algorithm as well to show your work to other people. Join general engagement pods are also a bad idea. What these pods were that people who had similar interests would join a group. One person would say they've just posted, and the rest of that group will then go and instantly like and comment on that person's post. It used to work quite well back in the day. However, Instagram again have now started clamping down on it, and it can affect your feed negatively. Don't spam post. I don't like to post more than twice a day. If I suddenly started posting 6 or 7 posts a day, my audience would quickly get very annoyed. I often get annoyed when I see one person sharing a lot of different things in the same day, so try and keep it simple, and as always, quality over quantity. And lastly, don't copy everybody else. Yes, there are trends, there are popular trends that come and go, as there is in any industry, but I find that if you keep your work authentic, keep it unique, then you will have a high chance of succeeding. Attracting new brands and clients. We all want to attract new brands and clients. In turn, that gives us more recognition for our work, more money, lots of different things. But to be able to get to that point, we need to present ourselves to the best of our ability. Firstly, we want to make sure that our social media accounts encompass our visual signature and demonstrates what we can do. This means having your best work on your Instagram account, as we spoke about before, making sure that you have a consistent visual aesthetic on your feed so that when a client or a brand comes to your page, they know what they're going to get. And also demonstrate what we can do to show that we've shot the work before and the client's going to be confident in our ability. Share both projects and personal work that you are particularly proud of. Again, only share your best work. We don't want to be sharing anything that's substandard or that will give any doubts to the potential client. Be consistent with your sharing online. As we spoke about in the previous slide, it shows you're busy and you're in demand. Don't confuse the amount of followers you have with success. This is a very big one. I know a lot of people who have under 5,000 followers but shoot amazing commercial work for the likes of Nike and Adidas. So just make sure that your content is unique, professional, very high quality, and the rest will follow. Create a concise 1 or 2 page PDF that contains your information, such as your bio, your client list, or your pricing. This is something that I've personally found very useful when approaching brands. A lot of art directors or brand managers don't have a lot of time to look through an abundance of photography profiles. So having something that's concise, that easily details who you are and what you do, is a great way to cut through all of the rest of the people that they're looking at. Looking outside of Instagram, you want to make sure you have a website. Your website should again only show your best work. Keep it simple but professional. I've used Squarespace and Wix. I find that these two are great platforms online to help you create amazing websites. They also have incredible templates, which means that all you need to do is add your copy and drop in your content. Other things to include on your website are an about page. You need to make sure that they know who you are and what you do. Your client list. Having a client list can also entice higher profile brands to work with you. If they see you've worked with somebody like Prada or GQ, then Louis Vuitton might be inclined to work with you also. An email button is also useful. Just like we have on our Instagram profiles, having an email button on your website just means that people don't have to go through too many steps to get in contact with you. Make sure you have any links to social media pages on your website, so your Instagram link should sit on that page as well. And also have a shop if you sell any physical products. Things such as prints or books, these can also sit on your website. Your pitches, your reports, your invoices, even your email signatures, your WeTransfer download pages, everything should have your logo on them. You want to make sure that your logo is easily recognizable, and it also just makes you look a lot more professional. Find work suited to you. A lot of work comes from networking, both online and offline. This is really important. Of course, we network as much as we can on social media, but we also need to network in real life. This means going to events, going to workshops, and just speaking to as many people as you can. You never know what can happen from a single conversation. Join photography groups online as well. There are some great ones on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, where like-minded photographers can come together and share ideas and knowledge. So don't underestimate the power of joining photography groups. Comment on other people and brand social pages. As we spoke about in the last session as well, interacting with people on those pages also entices them to visit your profile and check out more of your work. Create a concise line that presents who you are and what you shoot. This is really useful when it comes to networking in a physical sense. If you can meet somebody and tell them who you are and what you do within a couple of lines, then they're going to remember it, it's going to stick within their mind, and it just makes everything a lot more efficient. And lastly, just connect with as many people as possible. We've all heard the notion it's who you know, and there is some truth to it. I believe around 60% of work comes from recommendations and word of mouth. So making sure that your work is of the highest standard and it stands out and it's unique, as well as connecting with lots of different people from many different backgrounds, will enable you to work with a lot more clients and a lot more brands. Search for a brand or photography agencies and send them an email which clearly states why you're getting in touch and introduces yourself professionally. Everyone knows when they get a spam email, so make sure that it's personalized and it looks very professional. Make sure to include a link to your website, your Instagram, and then also the PDF that you created previously. The 2 to 3 page PDF that I mentioned before, I will often add this as an attachment in the email. That way, they know who I am and what I do. They have a link to my website and my Instagram, and then they also have a short PDF which has all of this information concisely written. Try to find the email for the marketing manager or the brand manager for the particular brand that you are aiming to work with. There is no point trying to talk to somebody who isn't in charge of commissioning shoots, you want to make sure that you're talking to the right people. So I found that the marketing managers or the brand managers are a great place to start. If they can't help, then often they can put you in touch with somebody who can. Try sending direct messages to brands on Instagram. A lot of people overlook this strategy, but I can tell you it does work. They can also put you in touch with people who are able to make decisions if they can't help themselves. And lastly, you never know who's watching. That is the beauty of Instagram and social media. There are so many people from all over the world that can connect with your work, and so just make sure that you're on the top of your game at all times. A massive thank you to everybody who's tuned in over the last couple of weeks. I really hope you found these sessions useful and shed some light onto Instagram as a platform and how it can benefit you as a photographer and as a business. So thank you so much to Wex for this opportunity again, and I look forward to seeing you all in the near future. Take care.